Welcome back to another video. We're going to be talking today about resonance, both for your gear and your carving resonance. Also how you're going to upgrade them, what do you need to do in order to get more stats bonuses, and what to keep in mind when reaching Void Break, because there's the Deamonfae relics and they work a little bit different and could be a problem for you once you start using them. In order to check your resonance, you can go here into upgrades, you click here and you go into augment resonances. It's a pretty simple system. It only requires you to get a certain amount of pieces of gear to a certain level, and it will give you a bonus, which is usually either ability damage or relic damage, both reduction and ability damage. So it starts pretty easy. It only asks you for 5 pieces at +5, and it gives you +5% ability damage to Taoists. As you go further here, you're going to be getting each of these 5 pieces of gear to +10, 7 pieces of gear to +25, until it eventually asks you to have every single piece of gear at a certain level. And this is where it starts to get a little hard to progress. But you need to keep in mind that every single one of these stacks, so once you start upgrading your levels and progressing into the game and getting a good high level resonance, you will start dealing and resisting a lot of damage. To a point where once you reach around here, like you have 100, 110, 150 resonance, you have so much ability damage bonuses and relic damage bonuses that if you equip a level 1 piece of gear and lose all of this, because you will have 0 resonance because of the level 1 piece of gear, you will probably lose every combat you have against someone of a similar level. Exactly because you're missing out on a lot of damage and damage reduction. So it's a pretty important thing to keep in mind, and you should always be sure that you are leveling your resonance accordingly. Some people sometimes, as they are new and they are just using their video game logic, they will invest their levels into pieces of gear that look better. Like, I dropped this really good amulet that is legendary and it has extra damage on a yellow line, and they think, hey, maybe I should invest all my resources into this, and I'm gonna put this into 190 and not level this useless blue trigram here, leave it at +10. And what actually happens is that their resonance will be really low. This highly leveled piece of gear won't be doing much, and they end up actually losing a lot of duels. It makes sense, the attempt, in order to capitalize on having a better piece of gear. You increase its stats and you think you're dealing more damage, but the truth is that in this game what you want to do is level everything accordingly and invest a little bit more in your weapon and your pendant. That's pretty much it as far as it goes for leveling your gear. So in terms of resonance here, you will just be trying to meet these requirements here, which is the augment resonance, have everything at a certain level, and there will be situations where you have a little bit of resources. Let's say I'm at 95 resonance, right? But I don't have enough to get everything to 100, so my pieces will be like 99, 99, 99, everything at 99, and I don't have forge stones to reach 100. So what you do in this scenario is not just level each of these pieces to 100 as you get more forge stones. This will take a lot of time, and you're not actually getting any bonus from getting 1 piece at 100 or 5 pieces at 100. You only get an extra bonus of ability damage and relic damage once you reach that exact amount of resonance and gear level on everything. So as far as you can go, having 8 pieces of gear at 100 won't do anything. Once you get the 9th one, then you get the bonus. So in order to have a better use of your resources, if you don't have enough to get everything at a certain level, what you want to do is, instead of getting everything to 99, you invest everything you can into your weapon. So you're gonna be like 95 on everything, and then you push your fan to 120, 130, 150, and at some point you're going to realize, hey, this is costing a lot of forge stones. Maybe I should make sure that I actually don't have enough to make everything 110 or 115. and then you go back, you reset your fan, you try to get everything to a higher level of resonance, and then you go back. Okay, I have everything at 105 now, 100. I start leveling the fan again until I feel like I can reach the next resonance. And once I'm sure that I have enough resources for that, since they are mostly invested into my weapon, I reset the weapon again and I spread them once again to every piece of gear. So that's a good way of getting immediate bonuses from your resources as you are acquiring them, instead of just leveling each piece separately until you get everything to the same level. You're getting the same results in the end. Once you have enough to reach the next resonance, you will be doing it, but in the meantime you're gonna be getting a little bit of extra weapon damage, which is very useful in PvP and PvE alike. That's pretty much it for gear resonance, and now we're gonna be talking about carving resonance, which is also pretty simple to understand. You click this tab here and you start following these requirements. But instead of leveling your gear with those materials, which is increasing its level, which is dust and forge stone, you will be using other pieces of gear to feed your weapons and armor and increase these levels here. Right now I don't think I have anything to be used. Let's see. If I go here, carving. Yeah, I have some pieces of gear here, sure. I can use them as experience to increase this, and it will eventually go to rare +1. When you look at resonance here, it asks me right now to upgrade 2 carvings to rare +2. So what I need to keep doing is feeding these two, or these two, doesn't matter which ones, to rare +2, which is another 2 levels here and 2 levels here. And it will provide me with another 1% relic damage to Taoists, which is pretty good. So that's pretty much it for carving resonance. You will gather more experience, craft pieces of gear. You can use as EXP material purple pieces of gear and below, so blues, green, white. If you're not selling them, they all can become experience, and they can be using based on their type. If I make weapons, I can use weapons here as EXP. I can't use relics here, only weapons. If I make armors, I can only use them for armor resonance, for carving EXP, and so on. So just to keep in mind, increase your levels accordingly, try to keep them the same. If you don't have enough resources, you invest into your weapon, and once you think you have enough, you reset your weapon, spread them out evenly, and get the resonance bonus. For carving, you use your weaker pieces of gear that they are not useful for you as EXP. You increase accordingly as it's asked. Sometimes it will require you 2 pieces to rare, 3 pieces to epic, and so on. You keep following that and you get relic damage bonuses. It's also important to keep in mind that these 3 pieces of gear, their carving resonance gives a different type of bonus. If you go here, it will tell you that it gives ability damage and ability damage reduction. Meanwhile, if you check the carving resonance of relics, it will give you relic damage and relic damage reduction. You want to have both of these leveled, and they use different types of gear to level up as you experience, but yeah, it's just something to keep in mind when upgrading your resonance.